I was so shocked. I was like, it was $2 on the shelf. How is it $3.99 here? But hello beautiful people, welcome or welcome back to my YouTube channel. And if you're new here, my name is Anne and I make college and lifestyle video. As you can tell by today's title, today is a different type of video. So I had in mind that I was going to talk about some of the things that were like a culture shock, something that I didn't expect to see or wasn't used to seeing coming from Ghana to USA. If you don't know, I lived in Ghana for 15 years and I moved here 2017. I've been here for 6 years. So let's get right into it without further ado. So the first and most of the culture shock that I experienced were in high school. So the first one is seeing couples or like students kissing in the hallway or in front of teachers and teachers not saying anything. As a Ghanaian, or if you're a Ghanaian, you know Ghanaians are very conservative. Even grown up adults, you barely see them kiss or any, like show any PDA. So I was so shocked. I was like, but I'm the kind of person when even if I'm shocked or taken aback by something, I would just remain calm and just have a turmoil inside of me. So I was so confused. I was like, how are students kissing in school?
Hey, me
in the premises of school whilst teachers are walking by. Whoa. It was so uncomfortable and so strange for me. I would look and then I would turn my eye because it was so uncomfortable to look at. And still, even till today, if I see people kiss in public, it's so like new and I'm like, what are you doing? Get a room. It's so uncomfortable and so new to me. I don't know if it's just me, but just coming from Ghana to here and seeing that was so new, so different. I just wasn't expecting that and was like, what are you doing? Especially for teenagers or students in classes or in the hallways. It was so weird for me to see. I was like, whoa.
Wait a minute.
Wait a minute. Because I was like, what? But that was the first culture shock that I experienced. The second thing was also in high school, when maybe a teacher asked a question and people raise their left hand or like use their left hand for stuff. In Ghana, you don't do that. So it's like, whoa. Especially raising up your left hand, it's just not a thing. Even people who are lefties are sometimes forced to become right-handed. So it's so like taken aback by that. I was like, what is going on? It was so awkward for me. But as time went on, I started to feel comfortable with raising my left hand myself. But still, there was still some turmoil inside of me that was like a conscience thing, because when you grow up with something, like, it becomes a part of you. So it became hard for me to raise my hand, so I would always use my right hand. But at some point I got used to it and I was using my left hand and it was something normal to me. But at first it was such a culture shock to me. I was like, whoa, why are we using our left hand in front of teachers? And
wool up, just wool up.
The next thing that was a big culture shock for me was the phenomenon of taxes. I kind of knew about taxes in Ghana, but it wasn't that prominent like the way it is here. Like how when you go to the store and you see something on the shelf, it's like $2, and when you get to the checkout, they will ring you in and they'll be like, oh, it's $3.99.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
Like, it was $2 on the shelf. How is it $3.99 here? But they put the taxes on after you bring it to the shelf. So I saw this I think at TikTok or on Instagram, and it's the same in like Britain, because if you don't know this also, Ghana was colonized by the British, so we have the ways of the British a little bit, not kind of because they colonized us and we didn't really change our ways. So Britain too, when you see stuff on the, apparently I've never been there, but when you see stuff on the shelf and it's $4, when you pay for it, it's gonna be $4. But here, when you take off the shelf, it's like, especially when you go to the dollar store and when you live near an airport, but when you get something off the shelf and you go to the checkout, it's a different price, so it's a little confusing and a little different. But yeah, that's how it works. It was a culture shock for me too, because yeah. And the next thing, this one, it's a new thing that I'm kind of seeing, not new but like experiencing. At first when I came here, I wasn't going to like I wasn't really buying food or like going to restaurants or anything, but now I see how the tipping culture is. Like, it's like the waiters are dependent on the tips that they get in the restaurant. Some places you go is like, you didn't do anything for me, why should I have to tip you? But controversial topic, but tips are such a big thing here. Like, some things, you know, they know they're dead wrong for asking for tips, because you're gonna be paid from the food that I'm buying, so why do I have to tip you extra? If it's not like a extra service, like maybe you went to a restaurant, you sat down, the waitress took good care of you, and it's from like my own, not forced, but here it's kind of forced. They kind of make you feel bad if you don't tip, but you gotta do your eyes sometimes and just not tip. Because if you sometimes you have like a budget, you're going to buy food and it's $20, you end up with like $25 because you have to tip like 10% or something like that. It's like, this is ridiculous. I just need to get my food and leave. Why do I have to tip? And especially if you're picking up the food yourself, it's not like they're delivering or anything that requires or prompts for tipping. So it's like,
bombastic side eye.
You gotta check yourself. Why do I have to tip you if I'm picking up the food myself? Especially if like a drink or something. And another culture shock that I experienced, I kind of knew this because I watched shows before I came to America. I used to watch like High School Musical and all those high school stuff, but seeing it in person was a little bit a different experience as well. Like seeing high school students driving, because Ghana is not that common. Most people that drive are older. Even people that go to university or colleges don't really drive. So it was kind of a shock to see students driving like these big cars and all this stuff. Like, ooh, you rich, right? But it's kind of common, so it's not like you rich. It's just a thing that people do. Like, it's normal. It's not like you're rich, if you get what I'm saying. The next thing that was a culture shock was how big things, especially cans, like can of Coke and that kind of stuff, they can be like this long, this big, and like that's a lot. That's too much maybe, but okay, I'll drink it anyways. But seeing how big things were also kind of a culture shock. One other thing that was also a culture shock was 16-year-olds, like teenagers, working like actual jobs, not like petty jobs, but actual jobs while in high school. That was new to me because in Ghana we didn't do that. So that was also another culture shock that I experienced. Like, that's so cool. But I probably left out so many more that I experienced because it's been so long. Not so long, but it's been a little bit long. But Thank you so much for watching this video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. And if you have any other ones, leave it down below. But see you in my next video.